Hi, this is Al Williams of Sunset Hill Solutions. In this video I'm going to be providing a bit of a walkthrough on how the content management works in DotNetNuke 7. If you've used previous versions of DNM, I think you'll find that the content management functionality has improved quite a bit with this version, and what I'd like to do or accomplish in this video is for you to have a very good understanding of how it works in this new version, and I'll show you some of the features, some of the kind of neat things you can do as far as content management goes. First thing I'm going to do is log in as a user who belongs to the administrator role. Okay, so now that I'm logged in, you can see this bar at the top. So this has all the administrative functionality that site administrators will see. You can also delegate content management for the entire site or for parts of the site to various security roles that you've set up in DotNetNuke. And if you have a look at the first video I did installing and configuring DotNetNuke 7, it has information there about security roles and how that can be accomplished. And I'll touch on that a little bit in this video as well. So what you're looking at on the screen is the default template for .NET that we installed when I installed this on my machine. The only differences I've made is I've put in a different logo, and I've changed the name of some of the default pages that were included. So because we're going to be adding new content, adding new pages, the first thing I want to do is get rid of some of these pages that were created during the initial setup. So I'm going to select the accounting page, and over in edit page here, what I can do is go down to delete page. Simple as that. Yes, delete. Do the same for investments. Edit page, delete. Yes. And human resources. And we'll delete this page as well. So now we're left just with the home page. Now, one of the great things that DotNetNuke has, and it's had for quite a while, is the ability to recover something that you've deleted. So if I go into admin and recycle bin, and so here we go. Let's say I want to restore the investments pages I just deleted. I can just select that page and click on restore selected page, and you see the investment page is back. So we can restore deleted pages, and we can restore deleted content within pages as well. So let's go back to the investments page and delete it once again, because we don't want to have that page here. So delete, yes. And one more thing I want to show you with that recycle bin. We have the ability to empty the recycle bin, and of course once you empty the recycle bin you can't restore anything that's in there. So I'm going to empty it right now. So it just has a message confirming that I want to permanent delete all pages and modules, so we'll say yes. So now our recycle bin is empty. Go back to the home page. So now we're left with just the home page that was left from the default install, and I want to clean this page up before I start changing content. So what I want to do is to go into edit mode. So I hover over edit page and I click the edit this page button. And now you see the page looks a little bit different. I have these controls here. So this allows me to edit the content for each of the modules on this page. And you can see we have a number of them. And these are all text or HTML modules, sorry, which we'll be using exclusively in this demo. There's dozens and dozens, if not hundreds, of DotNetNuke modules that are available out there. Some are free, some are part of what's offered by DotNetNuke, and there's a lot of commercial ones too that offer different functionality. But probably for 95% of the content of all DotNetNuke sites, it's the HTML module that controls the content. So what I want to do now is get rid of the existing content on this page. So the way I do that is I hover over the settings icon and I just delete each module. I'll do that for the remaining ones as well. Yes. Delete. So I'm just going to take a minute here. I'm going to pause the video while I delete the remaining module. So now I'm still in edit mode here, and you can see there's nothing left on the home page. All the content is gone. If I close the edit mode, the page looks the same as it did a minute ago, except you don't see the outlines of the different sections where you can add your content to. If I go into layout mode, view and layout mode, this shows me the different panes where I can add content to. For example, if I want to add a big HTML section in the content pane, that goes up here. If I want HTML to go in this footer left outer pane, I would put it in this pane, and so forth. Every skin out there has different panes defined, and some of them have more panes than this, some have less. Basically, whatever works, whatever you need in your situation is what you want to end up with using. So now I want to start adding content to the home page. I'm going to go up to modules here, click add new module. I'm going to select the common category, which just has the HTML module. I'm going to click and drag it down to the content pane. So now I have text HTML module in the content pane. And I can go ahead and edit the content. And the way I do that is I hover over this pencil icon, click on edit content. So you see now we have this rich text editor, which makes it very easy to customize the content that we want to add to our DNN7 website. I'm just going to copy and paste some text that was generated on this site called Duck Island. You can just select different types of languages and number of paragraphs, and it'll generate some dummy text for you. So I'm just going to copy that rather than typing out a bunch of stuff. Okay, so now we have some content. I'm using Chrome as my browser, and most browsers now have built-in spell checkers. You can see it's highlighted a few of these words that it doesn't know what the word is or if it should be added to a dictionary. So we're just going to ignore the ones that are not spelled correctly, but it's a nice feature that most browsers now have. And even if your browser doesn't have a spell checker, there is a spell checker built right into the rich text editor. So I can just click on this, and you can see it's found words, for example, chocolatey, so it's suggesting other words or other spellings of it. So I'll just change it to that. The rest of these that are not spelled right, I'm just going to ignore, so I'm going to finish the spell checking, but very nice feature to have the spell checking built right in. I'm going to go ahead and save this content. So now we see the content's been added to the page. However, we don't want the heading to be text/HTML. We want to have a custom heading for this. So to change this title or heading, we're going to go into the settings for this HTML module. Now we're going to put the content we want for the title. I'm just going to put the word welcome and click on update. So now we see that welcome is the title for this content. There's one more thing I want to show you that's kind of important for managing your content. If you go into settings and you go into HTML module settings, you'll notice that by default the workflow that's assigned to the text or the HTML module is direct publish. So what this means is as soon as you save content, it's published directly to the site. For all the sites that I manage, I change this to content staging, and I apply the workflow to the site, and I replace existing settings. So what this means I should mention I'm using the community edition of DotNetNuke 7. So when I select content staging as the workflow, DotNetNuke keeps the most recent 5 versions of the content. So you always have the ability to revert back to a previous version of the content if you've added some new content that doesn't look right or doesn't make sense and you want to revert back. It's very easy to do that, and I'll show you how to do that. So we're changing the workflow to content staging, and it's going to apply to all of the HTML modules in the site. Click on update. So let's go ahead and make some changes to the content. I'm just going to paste in some different text, and I'm going to save. So now we see the new text here. However, if I go back into close the edit mode, so now we're back in view mode, but I'm seeing the original text we had, and the reason is because I didn't publish these changes. So I'm going to go back into edit mode. Here's the new text that's showing up, and I want to publish. So now if I go back into view mode, I'm seeing the new content. go back into edit mode one more time and go back to edit content. I want to show you the version history here. So I mentioned that with the community edition of DotNetNuke, it keeps 5 versions of the content and allows you to revert back to a previous version. So version 1 was the first content we had, and version 2 is what we currently have right now. Let's say I want to revert back to the content that was in the first version that we had. If I click on this icon, I can view that content. Okay. Now I want to actually revert back to it, or roll back. Click on this icon. And so now the original content we have is back in place. So a very nice feature to have the content staging functionality available in DotNetNuke. Now I'll add some content to a different section on the page. I'll select the common categories, which is the HTML module. I'll click and drag into the left pane. So now we have the content we put in the content pane up top, and we have a module in the left pane, which is only going to show on the left hand side of the page. Let's get some content here. Okay, there we go. Now let's add that content to this module. We'll save the content. So you can see it's only showing on the left hand side of the page because that's the pane that I inserted the content into. I'm just going to change the title. Call it left side content and update. Now let's do some formatting of the content. I'm going to edit this content again. So here's the rich text editor, and I don't think I need to spend time going over all the items in the toolbar. I will go over a few of them, however. One suggestion I have, you have the ability to change the font in the content itself. I highly recommend against that because all of whatever skin file you're using will have a defined font and font size. You can change the font size, but I really recommend not changing the font at all in the content administrator right here. So a couple of the more common things that people like to do when they're editing content is adding images and adding links. So first thing I'm going to do is add some text here and add a link. I just typed in the name of my company here, and I'm going to highlight it, click on the hyperlink manager, and I want this to go to a URL, sunsethill.ca, and I want the target to be a new window. That's all I need to do. I'm going to click on OK, and now I've got a hyperlink built in to the text Sunset Hill Solutions. Now let's go ahead and add an image. To do that, I hover over the Insert Media icon, click on the arrow, and I want to go to the Image Manager. Now if I've already uploaded an image to the website, it would show in one of the folders here. In this case, I want to upload a new image to have in this content. So I click on the Upload button. I'm going to select the file desktop from the images folder, and we'll select this helpful tips image, and I'm going to upload. So here is the image. I can go into the properties of the image, and I can put a margin of say 10 pixels around all sides of the image and click on Insert. So now I have my image, it's in the content. Let me just save the content here. And you can see if I click on this hyperlink, it opens up my website in window. Okay, let's go back and we'll publish this content, but we'll make a few more changes as well. So I'm going to go ahead and edit the content some more. Another thing you can do is you can save the content as a template that can be used later on. So let's save this content as a content template, and we'll just give it the name test content, and we'll save it to the root folder. Oh, we'll go into the templates folder and save, and we'll come back and use that template a bit later. Okay. An easy way to add headings to your content to separate sections. I'm just going to type in a few sections here. Section 1 and Section 2. And I'm going to highlight Section 1, and I'm going to call this Heading 2. And Section 2 will apply the style Heading 2. And let's go ahead and save this. And you can see now the content has some headings within the content itself. So I mentioned saving the content within an individual module as a template. We can also save an entire page as a template for adding new pages. So I go on Edit Page and go to the Export page. It gives me the ability to create a template from whatever page I'm on. So we'll just call this template Home. Call it Home Page Template, and we'll say include the content and export. Okay, the page template has been created. Go ahead and cancel. So let's go ahead now and add a new page to our website. We'll click on Pages, Add New Page, and we'll call this About Us. That's all I'm going to put in for the top part here. We can put in a page title, it's optional. Description, keywords, as long as we have the page name, that's the most important part. Keywords are important for search engines, but for the purpose of this demo, I'm not going to put anything in there. Now, parent page, we want this to be a top level page. We want it to show alongside the home page. We don't want it to be a child of the home page. So we're going to leave none specified, which means it'll be top level. We can insert page before or after the home page, which is the only page that's available right now. And we'll say after the home page, and we're going to select that home page template that we just saved as the page template and add page. Okay, so I've created the About Us page, but I don't see any of the content that was in that template, and there's a reason for that. If I click on Edit This Page, the content is showing up, but because we are using the content staging functionality until we publish the content for the new page, it's not going to appear. So I'm going to publish it. So now I will close the edit mode, and we see the content on the About Us page is exactly the same as on the home page. Now you may decide that you don't really need to use templates, and that's fine. I just wanted to show you how that works. And here's a practical example. Here's a website that has a menu along the left-hand side with content in the middle. This is an ideal scenario where you want to create a template that's got this left-hand side content and perhaps some empty content in the middle as the basis of your template, and we create a new page. It'll have this menu along the right-hand side and have some blank HTML content that you can fill in. It just makes it much easier to populate your pages if you're going to have standardized content to use the templates that are available. We'll create another page now that has just the basic default template, and we'll call this Contact Us, and we want it to be on the top level beside the About Us page, so that's good for where we want to insert the page. And again, we're just using the default page template. I'll add the page. If I go into edit this page, You'll see that the default page template inserts a text HTML module in the content pane. You always have that as your default when you create a new page if you don't select a predefined template. What I want to do though is show you something else you can do. I want to delete this. So now what I want to do is create a new, I want to add an existing module. What I want to do is I want to make a copy, and I want to select the page where that module is, the home page, and a copy of this welcome section from the home page, and I want to bring it into our contact us page. So I click on welcome, drag it into the content pane, and you see that we have that content from the welcome section of the home page brought into this page. One thing you'll notice right now, you see this visible by administrators only. That's because when I created this page I didn't assign permissions for all users. Let me show you how to fix that. Go to edit page, page settings, go into permissions, and we want all users to be able to view this page. By default, every user in the administrator role can view and edit the page, and right now I'm logged in as one of the users in the administrator's role. So we want all users to be able to view this page. And I want to go ahead and publish these changes. So let's have a look at the home page. See the welcome section, go to contact us, and we have the exact same content because we copied an existing module that was already existing on another page. So what I've shown so far in terms of creating pages is to create individual pages by going up to Pages on the top menu and Add New Page. There is a way to add multiple pages at one time if you'd like to. So let's go ahead and go into Admin, Page Management. So I want these pages to start at the top level. So I go to the top level, right click, and Add Pages. So I'm going to add Products. And now I want to add some child pages to Products. So I put this character in here. So this is going to add a top level products page with subpages for sports, entertainment, and other. And click on the create pages. So there you go. Now we see if we expand the tree here, we have products, sports, and entertainment, and other. So now what I want to do is I want to assign permissions to these pages. So I want all users to be able to view the products page. Click on update. Same with the sports, all users. Entertainment, all users, and other, all users. One more thing, when the user clicks on products in the menu, we don't want it to go to a blank products page. We want that to be a drop down for the sports, entertainment, and other pages. So the way you accomplish that is you click on this disabled button here and update the page. So now if I go to our home page, we'll see products. We have sports, entertainment, and other. If I click on products, nothing happens because it's disabled, but it does bring down the drop down menu for sports and entertainment and other, and I can go ahead and edit the content. So that's a quick and easy way to add multiple pages at one time. So one more thing I want to show you in regards to permissions. I'm going to go back into the page management section, and I'll click on one of the pages, the About Us page. And if we have a look at the permissions, there's two types of permissions you can assign or take away from user groups. One is View Page and one is Edit Page. So you can have, for example, in a website that's a company intranet, where you have different sections representing different departments in your company. You can assign users to roles that correspond to those departments and have only those users. For example, let's say we wanted only human resources staff. to be able to view the About Us page. We would change this to checked for human resources and uncheck the all users. So now the About Us page will not be visible to just regular registered users of the site. They had to belong to this human resources role. Same thing if we wanted users in this human resources role to give them the ability just to edit this page. Throughout this demo, I've been logged in as a system administrator, which gives me the ability to edit the entire site and any page within the site. But you can make the permissions granular so that only certain groups of users can edit certain groups of pages on your site, and that makes it really flexible in terms of content management and who can edit what and who can see what on your .NETNuke 7 website. So this is Al Williams from Sunset Hill Solutions. I hope that this video provided some useful information for you in terms of how to manage content in .NETNuke 7. Thanks for watching.